Hello and welcome to lesson number 6 of the Orange Strap Studies. In this lesson we're going to be learning the first pattern of the CAGED system. Have you ever heard of the CAGED system? It's a great way to break up the fretboard and to learn to see how to play your scales all over the entire fretboard without guessing any notes, alright? So in the Orange Strap we're learning the first pattern of major and minor. So let me go ahead and show you what's happening here. Basically, we're going to do this procedure. We're going to play a chord, okay, a major chord. Then we're going to play the arpeggio of that chord. And then we're going to play a major pentatonic scale that goes with it. So that's basically the procedure. Just quickly, I'll show you in a moment. And then the same thing for minor chords. So here's minor, here's the arpeggio, and here is the minor pentatonic that goes with it. So that's what we're going to be doing, alright? So get in tune, grab your guitar, and let's begin. Alright, so let me show you where this stuff is at. So this is the key to really understanding the fretboard and mastering your scales. So we're starting with the foundation, and in this program we will continuously build for each chord type and scale type using the CAGED system. So let's go ahead and first start them with here. So we're starting with a C shape. So the CAGED system is called the CAGED system because we use 5 different patterns that are based off of open chords that you know to learn scales on the whole fretboard. For example, we start with a C shape, and then we use an A shape, and then a G shape, an E shape, and a D shape. And that spells CAGED. C-A-G-E-D. So let's go ahead now and begin. So let's learn the first one. So if we took this C shape and we moved it, we can do that and transpose it anywhere. However, we'd have to use different fingers. Because if there were more fretboard, we'd have to make a little bar to hold this, to move it. See that? So this is C, and we move it up, and we can use this anywhere. So we're going to put this pattern starting with our pinky on the 5th fret. This note is D. We're going to do this in the key of D. So pinky on D, then 3rd finger on the next string, 1/2 step lower. And the 1st finger is going to actually make a bar over 3 strings, the G, the B, and the E string, 2nd fret. But we're going to put our 2nd finger on the 3rd fret of the B string. So the 1st finger bars 2. And this is the chord. So you gotta go ahead and play this chord. Keep the thumb down low, wrist out, knuckles round. Good technique. Right on the tops of the fingers. This is the chord. The next part of the procedure is learning the arpeggio. So after you get this down, move on to the arpeggio. And the arpeggio is essentially the same exact notes of the chord. However, we're going to play them one note at a time, and we're not going to hold the chord down. We're going to play one finger at a time. So the key here, though, is starting on the lowest root in the position, and this is it right here. This is the root. Then we're going to play all the notes of D major, which is D, F sharp, and A. And we're going to continue to do that in position with as many notes that are available. So we start at the lowest root. We're going to play D, F sharp, and A in position up to the highest note possible in that position. Then we're going to go backwards and we're going to pass the root if there's lower notes in position, and there is for this shape, to the lowest note in position with those same notes, and then back up to the root and end there. Let me demonstrate. So D, F sharp, A, D, F sharp, A, backwards, F sharp, D, A, F sharp, D, A, F sharp, A, D. So take a close look and do this with me now. D, 3rd finger, 4th fret, next string. Stretch, 1st finger, 2nd fret. 2nd finger, it's like a little pivot. You just kind of pivot over. 2nd finger, 3rd fret of the B string. 1st finger right here. 2nd fret of the E string, then the pinky. Stretch the hand, make sure the hand is nice and stretched out. And then we go backwards. So pinky, first finger, second finger, third fret, B string, first finger, third finger, right here, F sharp, pinky, 5th fret of the A string. Now just adjacent to that is the A note, and then stretch the finger out right here, 2nd fret, going back up to return to D. So that was it. That's what it's like. So let's take a closer look. Do this with me now. So we're going to put the pinky here on the 5th fret of the A string, then 3rd finger, 4th fret of the D string, stretch 2nd finger, 2nd fret of the G, pivot over, 2nd finger here on the 3rd fret of the B string, and that's actually the 1st octave. D, F sharp, A, D. Now we continue, 1st finger, 2nd fret of the E string, F sharp, and we stretch the pinky here to A, 5th fret. We go backwards, 2nd finger, 1st finger, G string, 3rd finger, pinky, back to our root. Now we keep going, A, just adjacent to that, 2nd fret, F sharp, back to A, and then back to D. It's like this. So now let's go ahead and learn the scale associated with this chord. So the scale we're going to use is a major pentatonic scale. And this scale shares 3 of the same notes in the chord, but we just simply add 2 more to color the chord a little bit. So this scale, we're going to go ahead and start with the pinky and the root, just like we have been doing. Then we're going to go ahead and move to the next string using the 1st and 3rd finger. And then the next string, the same thing, 1st and 3rd finger. Then the next string, the 2 and the 4 finger, just in between those. And then the last string here, we're going to use the 1st and the 4th finger. So backwards. 3rd finger, 1st, again the same. Back to the root. Now we're going to do 4 and 1 fingers. And the exact same thing on the E string. We're going to go back up to the root. So again, this is starting at the root, go to the highest note in position. Keep the hands spread. Hovering above the notes, just set them down. Here's the root, but we're going to pass it, continuing to get all the notes in position. And then we're going to go back and end on the root, right there. So as you can see, every string uses 2 notes. However, when we start, we just play this first one. But really, there's 2 notes per string. Alright, so let's go ahead and put it all together and play the whole CAGED. So we're going to go ahead and play this quarter notes, everything, and do a whole note for the chord. 1, 2, hit the chord with me. Ready, go. 1, 2, 3. Now quarter notes, arpeggio. 1. Pass the root, keep going, all notes. End of the root, stop. Now we're going to do the scale. 2. Ready, go. Keep all the fingers nice and spread, just right over their notes, and then stop. Let's take a closer look. So this time I'm going to play 8th notes for the arpeggio and the scale. Play along. Ready? Chord. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now 1 and 2 and 1 beat of rest and then scale. Right away. do all the CAGED patterns. Alright, now let's go ahead and learn the minor CAGED. So this is similar, however, of course, we have a different chord type. So we're going to be using a minor chord, and the chord shape we're going to be using for the minor is just going to use basically these 3 fingers here. So it's like major, but we have to flat the third. So the F sharp we're using is going to become F everywhere. This was F sharp, so F. This was F sharp, so F. So the chord looks like this. So second finger here on F, first finger on A, and third finger here on D. This kind of makes a little triangle shape. It's kind of easy to see it like that. So when we play the chord, we're just going to play these 3 notes. We could put our pinky here, but it's really tough. So just these 3 are fine. So that's the chord, and then we go to the arpeggio. We put our pinky right back down here. We're going to move to 1 note at a time. So here we go. Pinky here on D, 5th fret. Now we're stretching our second finger to the F note, 3rd fret of the D string. Then first finger, 2nd fret of the G string. We're going to make that pivot again. 2nd finger here. And then we're going to stretch our first finger back for this one, all the way to the 1st fret. And then we got to stretch our pinky way up here to the 5th fret. Keep a big stretch. As little jumping around as possible. And then backwards. Pinky, first finger. Now make sure to put your 2nd finger here on the 3rd fret. Those are a whole step away from each other. Finger to finger. Right? So now back to the 2nd fret here, 1st finger. Then we just move our 2nd finger over to F, pinky back to D. Then adjacent to that is A. Stretch all the way to the 1st fret, F. This is for minor. Back up to A, and then a D. Just like before. So here it is. D, F, A, D, F, A, F, D, A, F, D, A, F, A, D. That's what the arpeggio looks like. Let's go ahead and practice that, memorize it ASAP. Alright, now let's go ahead and try the scale. So this scale we're putting over the minor chord is a minor pentatonic scale. It's 5 notes, just like the other one. So we're using the same 3 notes of the chord, plus adding 2 color notes. So let's go ahead and try it out. Pinky here on D, next strings, 2nd finger, 3rd fret. Then we're going to use our pinky, so we stretch a whole step away. Then the next string, we're going to use our 1 and 4 fingers. 2nd fret, 5th fret. Now right here we're going to make a shift. So we're simply going to shift our hand up, but we're not going to move anything. We're just going to move. We're not going to bring our fingers closer or further. We simply just move our hand up a half step. And we put our first finger here, the 3rd fret. So then all the way to the 4th finger again. And then first finger, next string, and 3rd finger. So then we go backwards. 3, 1, 4, 1. Shift back a half step. Pinky, 5th fret. First finger, 2nd fret. Pinky, 5th fret. 2nd finger. Same thing like this. 4th finger. Then a 2nd. And then again, exactly the same. And then we go back up to D. So it looks like this. Shift. Shift. Pinky. These 3 strings use the same finger. Back up to D, and we're good. Let's put it all together. We're going to play the chord, the arpeggio, then the scale with a metronome at quarter notes. Ready? 1, 2, here we go. Chord, whole note. 1, 2, 3, for arpeggio. 1. Stretch. Every note clean. Good. Good. Now we're going to do the scale. Ready, set, go. Great job. Let's do the whole thing one more time at eighth notes. And in between the arpeggio and the scale, we'll leave only one beat of rest. Let's go ahead and try it out. Ready? Here we go. Now, 1, 2, 3, arpeggio. Eighth note. One beat of rest, scale. Thanks so much for joining me in lesson 6 of the Orange Strap Studies. So get to practicing. Now the CAGED system is going to be great for you playing solos, reading music, playing melodies, and just having a blast in general. Alright, so have fun with this. Memorize it ASAP and put it in your daily practice routine. I'll be seeing you in the next lesson.